This is the BBC.
This podcast is supported by advertising outside the UK.
You're listening to the 6 o'clock news podcast from BBC Radio 4.
BBC News at 6 o'clock. This is Charles Carroll. Good evening. Politicians attending the funeral for Lyra McKee, the Belfast journalist murdered by the new IRA, have been rebuked over Northern Ireland's political stalemate. Mourners applauded when a priest demanded to know why it had taken her death to bring them together. The sister of the man suspected of being the ringleader behind the terror attacks in Sri Lanka has told the BBC she deplores his actions. It's been confirmed that one of the bombers studied in the UK. MPs have renewed their attack on YouTube, Twitter and Facebook over extremist content, saying they've created a cesspit. Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, has called for a fresh referendum on independence, a move described as divisive by her opponents. And scientists have developed a brain implant that can read people's minds and turn their thoughts into speech. Politicians from across the island of Ireland attending the funeral of the murdered journalist Lyra McKee have been told repeatedly that her death must mark a new beginning for the peace process in Northern Ireland. Theresa May and the Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar were among hundreds of mourners packed into St Anne's Cathedral in Ms McKee's home city of Belfast to pay tribute to her. She was killed by dissident Republicans, the new IRA, in Londonderry last Thursday. A priest who addressed the mourners, Father Martin McGill, received a standing ovation when he confronted politicians about why it had taken her death to bring them together. Our Ireland correspondent Chris Page reports on the service.
Do our best to smile.
The music, tributes and mood strongly reflected the fact that a young life had been taken. Scores of Lyra's friends wore T-shirts which touched on themes which meant a lot to her. Some bore the message R.I.P. Lyra in rainbow colours in recognition of her work on LGBT rights. Others featured pictures from the Harry Potter novels, which first inspired Lyra's love of reading and writing. The journalist was 29 and had often written of her hope that her generation would move beyond the divisive legacy of the Troubles. Her sister, Nicola Corner, said Lyra's values would guide others.
We have the power to create the kind of society that Lyra envisioned. One where labels are meaningless. One where every single person is valued. One where every single child gets the chance to grow up and to make their dreams come true. Dream to me, dream loud.
The funeral was rich in symbolism, not least politically. As well as the British and Irish Prime Ministers, the Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn attended, as did the leaders of the main storming parties. The day